Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Late Night with Brian Weck mini-sode. That means mini episode, in case you didn't know that. We're going to be doing these from time to time, probably more often than not. In this case, this is something that got cut from our first ever episode, the one that came out last week, and it's me and Leighton talking about some pop culture stuff we love. Also, we finally hit on an upload schedule. Mini episodes, when we have them, those are going to come out on Wednesdays, and the full episodes will be coming out every Friday. So thank you so much for listening. We really loved your feedback on the first episode. If you have anything else you want to let us know, just email us at laytonnight@gmail.com and enjoy the episode.
And I guess segueing into, we wanted to do this segment where we give each other a theme and then we share a couple of things. You explain this.
All right. So what I think we were going to do, which may be different than what you thought we were going to do, is basically, again, we just gave a bunch of recommendations. We're going to give more recommendations. Not even recommendations. Just talk about stuff we like around a theme. And the theme, since we don't know exactly when this is going to come out, but we think it's probably going to be around Valentine's Day. It's certainly in February, which is Valentine's month. So let's call it Valentine's Day. Stuff themed around Valentine's Day. What Leighton and I both did was just pick stuff we like and then kind of shoehorn it into that theme, which is what's going to happen every week. So get used to it.
Yeah.
But so that's the idea. We're going to talk about some stuff we like, which we've already been doing, but yeah, we're going to keep it going.
Yeah. And this time with a theme. Would you like to start? You want me to start?
Let's see. Let me remember okay. Yes. I have two things that I want to, why don't we take turns? I'll do one, you do one, then I'll do one. You do one? Does that sound good? Or do you want me to just do both of them at the same time?
I think I have to roll through mine because there's an arc to it.
Okay, great. Then I'll do both of mine. Here are two things that I've been really into recently. One, getting back to yacht rock, adult contemporary, smooth jazz, Bob James. Do you know Bob James?
Nope.
Fuck. Bob James rules. Bob James, he is a jazz keyboardist, composer, arranger. I think he's around 80 or so years old now. Mm-hmm. Been really active for many, many years. Particularly in the 70s and 80s. He wrote the most famous thing. He wrote the theme song to the old TV sitcom Taxi.
Wow.
Which is like late 70s, early 80s. That song is called Angela. He produced a bunch of yacht rocky type things. He's just an incredible musician, and he's also very, very heavily sampled. So a lot of his stuff has been sampled in just a million different things. I was listening to, I've been kind of working my way through his discography recently, and I was listening to Take Me to Mardi Gras, Take Me to the Mardi Gras, which is a song of his. And I was like, oh my God, that's from Raising Hell. It's from a Run DMC album. Oh. I think it was Peter Piper sampled the thing from it. So he's super influential to a lot of hip hop and rap, and also just the arrangements are incredible. So if you need to pick a Bob James album, there's tons of great ones. There are 3, which are called 1, 2, and 3.
Gotta love it. The economy
Fantastic.
Of that.
Yep. And then an album that I've really been into recently is called Touchdown. It's got a big fucking football on the cover, and it has the song Angela, which is the theme to Taxi, and a bunch of other ones. But I'm a jazz nerd, and the arrangements and the playing on this are just unbelievable. I love big band jazz, and this is a great example of 70s big band jazz. It's definitely got some of it is kind of fusiony in the sense that there's a disco or funk influence that works its way into a lot of it, but I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's so great.
If you had to recommend one song for somebody who wants an entry point into it.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that people love the theme from Taxi called Angela. Okay. That's the one. It features a recorder very prominently.
Ooh.
Yep, it's got a little recorder melody.
Do you like that?
It's funky. It's like recorder electric piano kind of arrangement. It's so great. That's the first one that comes to mind. But I think Nautilus is the one that gets sampled all the time, which is another one you might check out.
I mean, Nautilus, great name.
Yep. So what does that have to do with Valentine's Day? But I don't know. It's something I love.
If you're I mean, that's basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want some smooth tunes for
romance.
yeah, for either you and a partner or you
And
alone.
Yeah, that's right.
Either way.
It's-
I mean, if you're alone on Valentine's Day, your date is you. Take care of you.
That's right. And the other thing for me, and this one I remember. Okay, so I said this once. We got this question for NSP. Danny and I do these Q&As before shows for VIPs, and someone was like, what's name something you're really into? Basically, this question for each of us, and Danny said something which was it was some like sci-fi or fantasy thing. I think it might have even been The Last Unicorn. It got a huge round of applause. I said the thing I'm about to say, and there was total silence from the audience, because what I'm going to recommend now is a 3,600 page collectively semi-autobiographical novel series by this Norwegian guy, Karl Ove Knausgaard. Let me say that again because I think I'm fucking it up. Karl Ove Knausgaard.
How do you spell that?
KarlOve Knausgaard. Karl Ove Knausgaard. I apologize if I'm fucking up that.
I didn't clock any of that, but I figured it would be good to ask.
Yeah. So basically, this dude, he's this Norwegian guy who I forget exactly what the story was, had writer's block or something, and decided to just write these novels, although they're very autobiographical. So I think a lot of it is not exactly fiction, but they are painfully detailed about his exact thought process, kind of at every moment of different stages of his life. And one of them, I think it's the second one, is very extensively about him falling in love. A lot of it. So this guy has major alcohol problems. He's in a series of disastrous relationships, both friend-wise and romantically. He's pretentious, which I say in kind of a positive way. Like, he's very well read. He's a writer. Yeah. And he is the main character of these books. Like, he writes, the books are written in the first person.
Yeah.
And they are, like, when you say that it is minutely described thought processes, it sounds super painful. But when you actually read it, it is insanely compelling.
Yeah, I'm sure that's very engrossing because you're just in this person's brain.
You are in this dude's brain. And they were apparently a huge sensation in Norway. They've been translated into English. You can get all 6 volumes. I've read all but the 6th, which I guess I think the 6th is the longest. It's 1,200 pages, and people have mixed views on it. I haven't read it yet.
Since it's so minute, I'm really curious what the translation process is like, because I'm sure if it resonates that much in English, I wonder what that experience is like if you are Norwegian.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm really interested in that too. But it's they're great. They were, I guess, a big literary sensation. I'm not really in that world. I don't know anything about it. But I read some excerpt of it, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. And if you have any interest in all, read it. It's called, and this is part of, he's like trying to get you. It's called My Struggle, aka Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Which, yes, okay, that's the name of the Hitler book. There's a tie-in to this apparently in the 6th one, but it has nothing like, that's just basically, the point is, it is his struggle being a human being in the world. And
I love a book about a hot mess. There aren't enough characters who are hot messes in fiction, and
this dude is the hottest mess. Like,
I want a disaster man. Like, I don't want to read about a character who's perfect and always does everything right. That's boring.
This guy is quite far from perfect. In
fact,
he's
real bad.
At least if you believe the portrayal in this book, the person portrayed in this book is kind of a complete a-hole.
Great.
Which is very fun to read about.
I'll read this. I'm a very, very, very fast reader. Like, I read most books in one sitting. And I love a fat book because that means that I don't have to find another book to read. I hate a short book.
Yeah. I think you would legitimately like them. They're really great. All right. That's enough of me.
Okay. So, the theme is Valentine's Day. I love movies. I love to talk about movies. I love to recommend movies. I love to shove DVDs at people and harass them until they watch them. So I thought that it might be appropriate for me to recommend some romantic movies for you and your significant other, or you and your dog, or yourself. Get nice and cozy, get a fuzzy blanket, light some candles, get, a beverage of your choice. You can get some wine, you can get some LaCroix if you want angry water. So I'm going to recommend 3 movies. The first one is I have to look at my notes because
That's fine.
I took notes on this.
No
From 2013 called Under the Skin.
That's a good movie. It's fucking weird, but it's great.
Yeah. So Scarlett Johansson plays a very sexy alien who sexily picks up men off the side of the road to do sex with them, but really she lures them into black goo, and
Or
then they
tar pit, basically, right?
and then they shrivel up and die. So if your ultimate sexual fantasy is just drowning in goo because you followed a hot lady somewhere, then this is the one for you. And the soundtrack by Mika Levy is fantastic because it's all like traditional strings, like love themes that get sort of like warped in minor keys, so they're very creepy. And a super fun fact about that movie is that all of the footage of ScarJo picking up men off the side of the road is real. It was hidden camera with 8 cameras in the van. And they, you know, after she picked them up and have like these casual conversations, like they would be like, hey, are you willing to do this really weird thing? And so
Really? I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's totally, I was shocked to find that out because it feels so not, it feels like they're just good actors. But it is real.
But also, like, I mean, she's a major movie star. If you were driving along
Yes.
and you saw Scarlett Johansson by the side of the road, you'd be like, isn't that Scarlett Johansson?
Well, and I think there's also the element of her driving a car. You're next to her and you don't really see her. They had her in a quote unquote disguise, but she's a very recognizable person. But I highly recommend this one. Get lost in the literal sauce with a hot alien who's trying to kill you.
It's lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Was that the tagline?
Under the skin.
Get
Lost in the sauce. There is a sequence in that movie that is one of the most terrifying like visuals that I've ever seen. I'm not going to say what it is, but I think it's so fantastic, and it's one that I just look up on YouTube and watch because it's just delightfully awful. So my second movie, on the more like lighthearted end of the spectrum, is a great Japanese romantic comedy by director Takashi Miike. It's from 1999. It's called Audition.
Oh, yeah. It's a lovely film.
It's great. So a widowed single father working in the film industry is, you know, looking for the next love of his life, and his friend's like, I know, we'll hold a casting session that we say is for a movie, but it's really so you can find your perfect woman. And then he does, and it goes great, and nothing goes wrong, and they just like really take the relationship deeper and deeper.
This is 100% a movie that I will never watch, but have read the Wikipedia summary of a bunch, because I'm one of those people that can't watch horror movies, but I will read all the Wikipedia
There
summaries.
are so many people who are in that zone, and I used to be one of those people.
I am
and then,
one of those people.
Anyway, yeah, so that's a really great movie that I have legitimately shown people by saying that it's a romantic comedy,
God.
and then they got
That's
very,
just straight up evil.
they got very, very mad at me.
I'm mad at you that you're doing it.
With good reason.
Yes.
So, you know, as we talked about annoying
Leighton,
people.
that's
on
not
purpose.
good.
Oops. So yeah, everybody watch it. It's a romantic comedy, and it was a really big influence on Eli Roth and the Saska sisters, who are
And
really
murderers everywhere.
they love it. Saska sisters, this is another recommendation. They directed a really fantastic movie called American Mary that's about a struggling medical student who gets into the underground world of body modification. Wild movie.
Wow.
Really delightful. And also, you know, I'm all for, ladies directing, especially twin sisters who are also in the movie. Great. So the last very romantic suggestion I have is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's called Possession from 1981, starring Sam Neill
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
Isabella Gianni,
I haven't seen that in forever.
who won the Cannes Award and the Caesar Award for Best Actress for this movie. So I don't want to give anything about why it's really great away, but it's, Sam Neill, and
Love Sam Neill.
he's so good, and he's like a baby in this, and it's
Oh,
really
yeah. This
wild.
is at the very start of his career, right?
Yeah, and he does so great. And then Isabella Gianni like deserves all the awards that she got. Basically, their marriage is falling apart, and he suspects that she's cheating on him. And then it is actually a lot weirder than that. So if you like watching Sam Neill destroy an entire restaurant by just running through it and knocking everything over, if you like women screaming in subway stations and just fucked up shit, highly recommend. It is not streaming. And if you want to be like me, you can pay $60 to get a high, like basically Criterion level restoration of it, Blu-ray, so you can throw it at people. Or if you're resourceful and you have a little thing called DuckDuckGo. I'm not...
DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
You've never heard of DuckDuckGo?
No, what
That's
is it?
basically... It's like the one browser that doesn't keep any of your information and doesn't spy on you, but it also pulls up the stuff that Google won't pull up. So if you want like the completely
Oh.
unfiltered version, and then, for example, if you wanted to do a search for Possession
here we go.
1981 streaming, there you go. Not saying that you should do that. I'm just
No,
saying
we're not advocating doing anything illegal
I'm saying
here.
that if you were of loose moral character per se, you could do that. But yeah, so those are my recommendations. Also, I was going to say that Audition is streaming on Shudder, which is the streaming service for horror movies, which like is probably my favorite one. They have so much good stuff on there.
That's with 2 D's, not 2 T's.
Yes.
Shudder, not Shutter.
Shudder.
Right? Shudder.
And then, if you watch any of these movies, let me know what you think of them. I think they're great.
Audition is also on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
It's under Star Wars.
Yes, it's basically the same. And I gotta say, if you're watching these with, a paramour, I take it from me, watching any sort of movie like this with a partner goes great. Recently on a first date, I watched Salò, 120 Days of Sodom.
Oh my God.
Super romantic. And then he stopped talking to me for some reason. So it works.
Well, at least, I think that's good. You're honest with someone right from the start. He knows what he'd be getting into.
Oh yeah, and it's if a first date can survive watching a bunch of naked teens eat shit, it's gonna go great. This one did not work out.
Late Night is produced by Brian Wecht and Leighton Gray. For more information, visit leightonnight.com. That's LEIGHTONNIGHT.com. Our next live show is on Monday, March 23rd at the Lodge Room here in Los Angeles. You can visit leightonnight.com for tickets. Also, please follow us on social media. On Twitter, we're @LeightonNight, and on Instagram, @Leighton_Night.